It's Mike Titino with the Safety First Home Inspection Show.
So thank you for having me. It was an absolute pleasure. Love being here. I love chopping it up with you.
Catherine, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
I'm proud of you, man. Good for you. I like it.
This is the Safety First podcast show. My name is Mike Titino. When it comes to your home, think of safety first. Follow me on Instagram at safetyfirstHI_. Today we have a very special guest and a unique guest because she's the first guest of mine that is not in the real estate industry. And I'm super excited to have her. Jessica Rivera, thank you so much for coming on my show. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So let's jump into the bio first. Tell us about yourself on how you started and where you're at now.
Yeah. So I am a business and mindset coach, and I really decided to branch off. I've been coaching and developing professionals for about 8 years as a leader. Prior to that, I was an individual contributor. I've been in sales for almost 20 years, corporate sales. And that was amazing and fun. But what I realized was that I love leading, coaching, and developing people. And in the corporate space, there is a lot of politics involved, right? And I decided to branch out on my own because I wanted more reach.
Sure.
And nothing brings me more joy than seeing that transformation and seeing people gain confidence. I think even salespeople, because we're out there all of the time and we're speaking with clients and customers, we still sometimes lack that confidence within ourselves and have a lot of self-doubt and imposter syndrome and so on, which then stops us from really being our highest self. And
100%.
Yeah.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
And so for those who may not know, you and I actually met not at the Bowery mission itself, but we had a meeting prior. Mm-hmm. So for those who do not know, our mutual friend, Regine Davis, she does a phenomenal job. Every year she basically sets up, she basically collects donations of clothes, food, cash donations. She creates hygiene packets. And what we do on Christmas Day is we go to the Bowery, which is a homeless shelter in Manhattan, and we set up tables outside, and we have like a buffet-style day where, you know, people that are less fortunate have the opportunity to get hot food, clothing, and most important, they feel like a human being because holidays, you know, it's rough when you may not have family and things like that. So shout out to Regine. She's been doing it for years. Yeah. Hopefully we could do it this year. But that's how we met. So we met at one of the meetings just to plan everything out. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, you know, we followed each other on social media. And I was very drawn to just your positivity. And I felt like that's something I need in my life. We all could use it, you know. And here we are now. And what was it, about a few weeks ago, we caught up, we got coffee. And just the conversation we had, I felt like it added value to me because it made me realize that as a business owner, it's very easy to get caught up in just building the business, and then you're kind of neglecting your personal, you know, your personal well-being. I feel like it's very easy to get caught up in that. So how do you have balance when it comes to, you know?
Yeah. So that's so important. And to your point, I've always loved helping and serving, and we definitely have that in common, obviously, by the way that we met. But that's another reason why I branched off is because small businesses, entrepreneurs, sales people, people who want to climb the corporate ladder have a hard time because their confidence isn't there sometimes, right? It isn't always there, and we feel like we have to prove ourselves. We have to work harder. We have to be more. We have to do all of these things.
Question, why do you think it's not there? Let's dig a little deeper.
Well, in that everybody's situation is different, right? There's a lot of reasons why. And so I think it depends on the person, and that's kind of where I come in, and we will work through that. But a lot of it is we have goals that we want to achieve, and society kind of tells us you have to work hard in order to get what you need. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that that's the case every time. I know for me personally, the years that I had my confidence at an all-time high and was killing it, I didn't feel like I worked as hard, and I got the biggest bonuses, the biggest raises, a lot just came to me. But a lot of that had to do with I had my confidence level was so high that I got things done. I felt like in shorter amounts of time, and I wasn't always second guessing myself. And I didn't have that perfectionism. Like things didn't have to be so perfect, so they took me less time to get things done. And also delegating as a business owner can be really difficult because you think you're the only one that can do it.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
But letting people do things for you and empowering them can also feel really good and be really rewarding for both parties involved.
Of course. And I'm sure for your clients, the most rewarding thing is seeing their visions come into reality. So let's break it down. As you mentioned, everyone's situation is different. So what type of goals are your clients aiming for? Whether is it fitness, is it relationship, is it personal, or is it all the above?
Yeah, so a lot of it is business related, but I believe we're all just one person, right? So the things that we work on the business side obviously go into our personal side. So sometimes people feel like they have to have a work persona and then a home persona, which really, let's just be ourselves. Like, let's just be our most authentic self. And so, for example, I'm working with someone who's building a business right now, and she has all the skills. She's done it forever. She's amazing at it. But when you then branch out on your own, it gets scary.
It does.
It gets scary. And we're second guessing because in a corporate environment, or even if corporate or school or kind of organizational environment, someone else is kind of giving you the rules, right? They give you the roadmap. This is what you need to do in order to be successful.
And you have security too.
And there's a lot of security. Versus on your own, you're calling all of the shots, which can feel really great and really scary all at the same time.
Definitely.
And that's where that second guess, that imposter syndrome, that scary, debilitating feeling can come in. But when you work on that, and you improve your communication, your leadership, your confidence, all of those things, and really work through on your mindset and have those strategies in place, then things get a lot easier.
Of course. And speaking of mindset, for me, mindset is, I'm very adamant about reading. That's definitely improved my mind frame, and that got me into entrepreneurship. Is there any books that you would recommend, whether it's audio books or physical books?
So many. So one that I actually just posted it the other day because it was on my nightstand and it's all like torn up because I've had it forever, is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. And so that is a difficult read. I feel like he has a lot of concepts in there that can be tough, but it literally is one of the books that I felt like changed my life.
Really?
Yeah.
I definitely need to read that one.
Yeah.
I just started literally 2 days ago, The 4 Agreements.
Oh, I love that book.
And
it's one of my favorites.
The funny thing is that there's two. I just finished reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, the Quadrant book, which is basically his second edition. I finished reading that, and then I typically post my books on my stories every day just so people see. And one of my followers that I'm connected with on social media, she recommended that I read The 4 Agreements.
Oh.
So then the next day, I posted that book as, excited to start my first book. This first read, I got like at least 10 DMs of multiple people saying, I love that book. I'm like, wow, this book must be really good.
It's a classic for sure. And it's good because it's a short read.
Yes.
And I feel like it has quick tips, tools that you can use every day. If you put them into place, will really make a big difference in your life.
I've only read about 10 pages so far. And just off of that, I'm already like, wow, I'm already learning something so quick in the book. So I can't wait to finish it already. But it's funny because I don't know if the union is considered corporate world or not. I mean, technically.
Yeah, but it's an organization.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you clock in, you have lunch break, clock out. You're capped at a certain amount. So I was in the Carpenters Union for 6 years, went through the apprenticeship. And one day, a friend of mine who was a huge bookworm, and I didn't read at the time, he said, you got to read this book. And it was the first edition of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I started utilizing my commute into Manhattan on the Long Island Railroad to start reading. Read 10 pages in, 10 pages out. I started reading like a book a month, 2 books a month. And every day I'm going into work, my mind frame started changing. Like, it was compounding, actually. And it got to a point where I felt like I had so much confidence and knowledge just from the books. around the holidays, I got laid off. That's what happens in construction. It slows down, and I never looked back. But I needed the confidence to alter my mind and acquire the knowledge to make that move. If I didn't read, I'd still be in the union right now, 100%.
Yeah, and I think that mindset and confidence and communication, I mean, name it. A lot of these things, they're a muscle, right? We have to work on them all of the time. You can't just, it's not like riding a bike, right? You learn how to ride a bike once and you know how to ride a bike forever. That's not the case. And it's funny that you talk about books because I love books as well. But for me, books definitely helped change my mindset, but nothing helped it change faster. Like I got instant results, fastest results was from hiring a coach.
Really?
Yeah. And so, I mean, I've been in therapy. I believe therapy is great. And I was a young mom. I have 2 adult children right now. And so I always wanted to work on our communication and what am I doing better and how can I be better as a parent? And that helped a lot. And then reading books, obviously that helped a lot. But the growth I saw in myself when I hired a coach is another reason why I wanted to become a coach so badly because, or why I decided to become a coach because as I was coaching and developing my people in the corporate space, they would tell me, oh my gosh, that felt like a therapy session.
Yeah.
And it was so rewarding, more so than us hitting our numbers and hitting our sales goals. Because, I mean, we brought in the most revenue in the entire company, which is consistently $4 billion a year.
Wow.
And so we were killing it with our numbers, but nothing made me happier than seeing their confidence level shift and then walk into meetings and just know that they were going to kill it versus having the client run the meeting or them feeling like, oh, I'm lucky that they're taking the time. No, you're not lucky that they're taking the time. You're giving value.
Of course.
And so a coach really helped me elevate not only my skills as a leader, but my skills within myself.
Absolutely. And in the real estate industry, not all, but the word coach sometimes gets a bad rap. And I mean that because you always hear everyone's a guru now in real estate. Everyone's selling this and selling that. So what do you think separates the good coaches from those infomercial type of?
Well, I think I don't know what separates the good from the bad, and I don't know that I've really encountered bad quote unquote coach.
Well, that's from the real estate aspect. Yeah.
I think the key is like any other relationship, you have to find the right fit for you. And so what you may think is not a good coach or someone that wasn't a good fit for you, I may think was great and helped me, take leaps and bounds forward. So I would say always go with your gut, especially when you're looking for someone to help you. Go with what feels good and what feels right. Because we have it in us. We know what we're supposed to do.
Right.
And your gut will tell you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what is your process or what are your beliefs on manifesting and manifestation?
Yeah, so
it's very powerful, by the way.
I fully believe in it. I think key to manifesting is meditation. And I know people are afraid I know I was afraid of meditation. Like, there's no way I can quiet my mind. But I think once you start doing it, you'll be surprised at how easy it is and how good it feels. So I would encourage anyone who's listening to this, just try meditating for even if it's just 2 minutes a day and increase it slowly. You don't have to do more than 15 minutes, but it is an amazing way to start your day.
Yes. I use the Insight Timer app, and they have guided meditations. They have just music, time, whether you want to do 5 minutes. They have meditation for an hour. I can't. There's no way I could do it for that long. But what I've learned from meditation is that you just kind of focus on being calm, and then that transpires into the whole day. So let's face it, there's situations in your day that's stressful or confrontational, whether it's work, your partner, your whatever it is. But with meditation, I feel like you don't react to it because you want to kind of just have your inner peace. That's what I've learned personally. I'm sure everyone takes away a different message from it, but whenever I meditate, I know the rest of the day is just more grateful. I'm in higher spirits, and it's just a better outcome.
Yeah, I mean, meditation is very, very powerful, and I think it helps when it comes to manifesting as well as visualization.
Sure. And what's an example of something that's worked in your favor as far as the law of attraction goes?
So many things, especially when you think back about, okay, you may not realize you're manifesting or you are utilizing that law of attraction, but if you think back on your life about something you thought of that actually happened, good or bad, because we do manifest negative things as well.
Like what?
I don't know. Let me think. I can't think of anything I manifested that was negative, but we do it all the time. So let's say I know that person's going to do X, right? That may come back to you, or that may happen, and you manifested it. You can manifest traffic. You can manifest a lot of things. Like, oh, I know tomorrow's going to be a terrible day. Well, you just made it that way.
Put it out there,
yeah. But what's crazy, and that what I don't think I realized as a young person, even like a teenager, like, oh, I don't want to think that because if I think it, it's going to happen in a negative way. I didn't realize, okay, well, I could do that in a positive way as well.
Of course.
So if you think back on your life about things that you manifested that you thought, oh, actually, when you talk about manifesting, that could happen. Like, how about when you're thinking about somebody and they call you?
Yes.
Like out of
text,
nowhere.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yep. That's happened many times.
Many times, right?
Course.
So I think that's happened to everybody.
Yeah.
So that's us manifesting that. That happened to me yesterday.
It's crazy, right?
We can do it negatively and positively. But so when we focus on the positive, when we see the good, we see more good. When we see the bad, we see more of the bad.
Of course. And it's all about perspective too, which I've learned. Life, relationships, business is just an example for business. Let's say you lose a client. It happens to, I don't care what industry you're in, we lose clients, we lose the job. It happens. People go elsewhere. Now you can sit there and be down about it and say, oh man, this sucks. Why didn't I? And then you start doubting yourself and attracting these negative thoughts, and you think my perspective is when I lose a client or clients, my perspective is if I'm stressed out about this situation, that means I don't have enough business. That motivates me to, all right, I'm going to 10x what I just lost and get 10 times more. And that's just my perspective, because you got to use the negative experiences as fuel. For me, that's worked in fitness, business, you name it. So I view it as like, all right, this is a good thing because I get to learn from this. I get to grow from this. But and I'm sure that's what you break down with your clients too, because let's face it, tomorrow one of your clients can go through a terrible breakup, and now it's your passion is to uplift them again, or they lost their job. But I feel like something positive always comes out of it.
I would agree 100%. There hasn't been one situation that, when they say when one door closes, another one opens, and it's so true. I was speaking with a client yesterday, and she was very nervous about her husband not getting a job, but his dream is to build homes, and they've done it before. Right. They live out in the South. They actually live in Texas, and his dream is to build homes. They've done it before and they were successful, but then he kind of wanted to go back to corporate, and she was stressed out about him not getting the job. I said, it's not a decline. If he doesn't get the job, then maybe it's a push forward for you guys to go ahead and live your dream so that he can live his dream again. So I think, like you said, it's about perspective.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have them on here, so I don't want to say names yet, but it's someone that we know. I believe she was in the corporate world, and things didn't work out at her job. And this is right after she bought her house. So she's taken on, she bought her house, then lost her job shortly afterwards. And she became a personal trainer out of her garage. And then that turned into a bigger studio. And now she's on the news. She's doing really big things now. But that situation had to happen for her to go into the path of,
exactly.
Exactly. I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Which I'm going to get them here, her and her husband. But yeah, it all happens for a reason. Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason. And I think the more we can put a positive twist on what's going on with us, whether, like you said, whether it be a breakup, whether it be a friend betrayed us, or, something happened at work, the more we can just realize, okay, well, number one, where and how did I contribute to that? Because we're all players in this game, right? So where did I contribute to this relationship, this job, whatever it is, falling apart? Do some self-reflection, not beat up on yourself, but know, okay, that's what I could have done better. And then how do I move forward, right?
Right, because it's all part of the process. Every person I know who's achieved a level of success to a certain degree, they've failed their way through it. I know I have. I've struggled as an entrepreneur. When I first left the Carpenters Union, I was an entrepreneur for about 8 years now, and the last two to 3 years is when I've been seeing results from my work. But I went 5 years. Like, I didn't know when the next client was coming, you know, and that's, I'll openly say that so people don't feel like they're not alone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't showcase the milestones of what I've achieved so far. I like to shed light on the setbacks, the breakups, the shit we've been through. Excuse my language, but that's part of reaching, you know, the top, I feel like.
Oh, for sure. I mean, when you think about it, we learn the most from our failures. We learn so much from our failures. And that, going back to being an entrepreneur and second guessing yourself and lacking that confidence, our failures will do that to us. It will set us back. It will have us doubting ourselves. It will have us even think about when you trusted someone and then they betrayed you. Then you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to pick people. I don't know how did I not see that? And then we get nervous about the next time we're in a friendship or relationship. And so those are the type of scenarios that we work through, or that I work through with my clients, to let them know that we learn so much from our failures. We will learn way more than we do from our failures than we do from our successes.
100%. And with what you're doing now, how important is fitness, and that meshes with everything else that you're doing?
Well, for me personally, fitness, I never liked working out my entire life. Like, that just was not what I liked to do at all.
I never thought you would say that.
Yeah. And so what happened was, I mean, and I'll say I was lucky. I kind of just ate what I wanted, and I was in, okay shape, right? I was whatever. I wasn't happy with I wasn't entirely happy, but I wasn't upset. I was fine. But 1 year I gained like 15 pounds, and which was, I had never gained that amount of weight unless I was pregnant. And then after I had my kids, I lost it pretty quickly, like without even really trying.
Good genes.
Great genes. Yes. I will. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Yeah. But I gained 15 pounds, and I just was not happy. And people said, I looked fine, but I was not happy with myself. And so a couple of things changed when I started working out. So number one, I found a small boutique gym that I really loved, because I hated going to the gym. I didn't know what to do. So I found this really small boutique gym, and she had created such an amazing culture there. Shout out to Karina, K-Fit. And I loved going there. And so she really helped me stay committed to my fitness. And then the other thing I always wanted to do was become a morning person, because
I love I
was not a morning person. I was so jealous of the people who woke up early and just like ready to kill the day. So I wanted to work on becoming a morning person. And I remember one day I was getting up at like 4 a.m. to catch a flight for work. And I thought to myself, if I can wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to catch a flight for work, why in the world wouldn't I do that for myself? And so from that moment on, when I got back, I started taking 6 a.m. classes, and then I kind of never looked back. And then that just literally set the tone for my day. I think that there's another level of discipline when you're doing it for yourself. Nobody's holding you accountable. There's no job you have to go to. Nobody's holding you accountable. You're just doing it for you. And you'll be surprised at how your whole kind of mindset starts changing when you're like, I'm just doing this for me.
That's it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's definitely it's a journey. And the whole 4 a.m. thing, I used to have to be in Manhattan working at 7 a.m. So you can imagine, I had to be up at 4, take the 5-something train into Penn Station. So I've been doing it for over 10 years now, so I'm kind of used to it. But now it's like you said, no one's holding me accountable. I could wake up at 10 o'clock every day if I want to, but of course I would never do that. But I just feel like the whole 4 a.m. thing, no one's requiring anything from you at that time, because as business owners, we're putting out fires all day, and typically 7, 8 o'clock is when the phone starts to go off. But 4 a.m., unless you're crazy, and guys, don't call me and text me at 4 a.m. just because you think I'm up. I've had
people are getting home and calling you.
let me just share a quick story. I'm in the gym at like 5 5:15, 5:20 in the morning. I'm in between sets. I'm taking a rest. I have my headphones on, and the music starts fading out, and my ringer starts to go. I'm like, who is calling me at this time? I pick up my phone. First thing they say, "Hey, I know you're up right now." I was like, click. I don't care who you are.
Oh my gosh,
if you're calling me at
crazy.
that hour to talk about work or something, that I don't. That tells
That's
me
your
enough.
quiet time. That's your quiet. That's not your client. That's not
Blocked.
your person.
So guys, I'm up at that time. I'm not open for business at that time.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But I will say, I just want to put that out there that 4 a.m. is a little crazy.
It is.
I don't wake up at 4 a.m. But I guess 5. Some people may think 5 is crazy.
5. I woke up at 5 today, and I thought my whole day was off. I'm like, I woke up too late today. But anywho. So you have a course, you have a virtual course.
Yeah.
When is that?
Yeah. So I built an online group coaching called a Leadership Accelerator. I launched it just this month.
Congrats.
And it's been amazing. It's a small curated group. You do have to apply. Like I had to decline 2 people because I want the group to really get a lot out of from each other. And so it really focuses on 3 pillars, which is mindset, strategy, and leadership. And the goal here is it's for us as leaders, because whether you're leading a team or not, you're still leading yourself and you still have influence. And really to lead in the best way possible. And, we're really working through, the first 3 weeks is mindset. So we're working through those limiting beliefs, gaining confidence. Communication will be in there, how you give feedback and how you create that culture of feedback, because the way we speak to each other really makes a difference. And so I can approach you and the wall can automatically come up, or I can approach you and set a nice, good tone and have an open dialogue where you feel you can be open and honest with me. But then the same goes for me. I have to be able to accept feedback and solicit feedback. So creating that culture of feedback, especially when you're leading teams, is vital. And for an entrepreneur like yourself, or even if you're a solopreneur, eventually I'm sure you want to build a team.
Yes.
And so working on these things are so important. And then obviously having those strategies in place so that time management is another huge hurdle that entrepreneurs and really anyone goes through. and you wake up at 4 a.m. So imagine. So that time management piece, having those strategies in place, energy management, making sure that you're not overcommitting yourself, which I think you've been guilty of yourself as well.
Guilty once again. Go ahead.
Making sure that you take out that time for you.
Yes.
Take those vacations.
Which I just did. I had to.
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah. We worked through all of those things and really just ultimately to make you a better leader, because I believe and I live for the day where as leaders we touch so many people. So if we can uplift, right? The 4, 5, 10, 20 people you touch in a day, and then they will, and then they will, and then they will. Then
compound effect.
Yeah. So that's the goal.
So you have this session once a month, you said, or?
No, so it's a 10-week course. And so we have 5 group training. There's 10 weeks of modules. So you would go ahead, for example, there's a module, there's a workbook. You would work through that. It probably commit an hour and a half per week. And then we have a group call where we really just put it all on the table. What are the highlights? What are the things we're struggling with? What are some strategies? Then one of the things that we will be working on is pitching.
Okay.
So you are going to have to come to the group and do your elevator speech, refine it, anything that you're working on. So I have somebody in the group who has an ebook that he wants to release. So he will be pitching it to the group.
Yep.
So lots of workshops like that. So
That's
it's
awesome.
really kind of just building and perfecting your skills.
Are you currently taking clients on now? I know you mentioned you had declined last time because you were booked, but this current moment, if someone wanted to, subscribe to your modules.
So the way that it works is I have a couple of things going on. So I have the Leadership Accelerator, and that's our group coaching. Right now, I'm in a cohort. We're in the last cohort for 2020, but the winter cohort, 2022, will be available starting January 1st. So you can get on the wait list for that. And there, like I said, there's an application process.
So this is no joke. People have to get qualified to
Yes.
to even...
Yeah, and I'll give you an example or a reason as to why. So I had somebody apply, and in speaking with her, she was not ready. I want everybody in the group to bring value, right? So if you are in the group, you obviously you have your own business. You have been in business for a couple of years. You're working on things. You can contribute to the group. This individual was still had a lot of work to do on her own mindset. She was probably better for one-on-one, so I gave her another option to go. So, of course, I will either give them an option to go or I'll refer them maybe to a different coach.
Sure.
Because I'm not for everyone and
Sure.
everyone's not for me. And
Sure.
so I think it's really important that even when you're hiring people, right, it's not about you being the best fit for me. It's about us being the best fit for each other, right? And so... my course is not going to be for everyone. This is specifically really for small businesses, entrepreneurs, and mid-level executives.
Sure.
Yeah.
And how do they fill out the application? Like, what's their step if they're seeing this and they say, okay, let me look her up, and how do I do this?
So the best way to find me is on Instagram at Coach Jessica Rivera, and then the link is in the bio. I think it's at Leadership Accelerator, probably says cohort.
The link's in the bio.
The link is in the bio, yeah. But then I do have a couple of spots available for one-on-one coaching starting in November. I'm booked through November. In November, I'll have 2 spots available.
Amazing. So, Jessica, I cannot thank you enough for taking the time, shedding light on everything you just mentioned, for being on my show. I can't thank you enough. This episode's going to drop. This is... Like I said, very unique guest. This is a breath of fresh air. It's not just real estate related. And I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
My pleasure.
Thank you.